Welcome in, bitches. Double D's and dumb theories.
Where two best friends dive into true crime, conspiracies, and everything in between.
No mystery too dark and no theory too dumb,
With that being said, let's have some fun.
bitches. Are you gonna hit record?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay.
Alright, did you know that redheads tend to have more children?
Yes. And they have a higher pain tolerance.
No. Lower pain tolerance, right?
Higher pain tolerance.
Maybe I was thinking higher tolerance to drugs.
Yes. Like
Um,
um like
Anesthetics.
higher but lower, yeah. Like we need more of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking when you said pain
Okay.
tolerance.
But
Um,
yes.
People think that they have more kids because they seem to have more sexual partners and start having children earlier in life, you whore.
Horror Island.
Redheads also have more sex, which makes sense why they're having more
Fair.
children.
That's fair.
Let's see what else. Redheads are often left handed.
Oh, that's interesting.
Bees are more attracted to people with red hair.
Oh, that's fair. I feel like I'm always getting attacked by any bees, if not bugs.
Redheads have less strands of hair, but it's
Hmm.
typically thicker hair.
Hmm.
When you guys go gray, you go white rather than gray.
Yep. I can attribute to that with I have gray hair.
Changes in temperature are more noticeable for people with red hair.
Hmm.
Thomas Jefferson was a redhead.
Was he really?
hmm I get allegedly. And roughly 30% of people that dye their hair at home choose red.
I feel like that's a lot. Like whenever you look up dyeing your hair at home videos, it's always I'm going red. I'm going red.
I would not dye my hair red at home by myself.
That's fair.
I wouldn't.
Also, like people,
Go ahead.
you what? I was gonna say people with red hair, like they have normally like people with just like your colored hair or just it's mostly people with red hair, but instead of like one hair coming out of like the follicle, it's 2 to 3 hairs. So like if you look at somebody with red hair and like specifically where there's like more melanin hair, so more
Darker.
so like beards or like armpit hair or things like that. It's and when you look at it closely, sometimes there's like 3 strands coming out of the one follicle.
Weird.
Mhm.
I'm on that side of TikTok where the girl plucks her husband's beard hairs, I think, and it
Oh
has a
yeah.
bunch of strands coming out of one.
Mhm.
I like those.
Those are nice. I like those too.
I'm tired.
Same. Well, on the topics of redheads, we have the redhead murders or the Bible Belt Strangler. Fun, right?
I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited. Um, so when people talk about like there's I mean, it's mostly known for it being like the Bible Belt
The
Strangler,
psychotic Southern Baptists go on.
literally. Um, they usually think of like Sunday when you think of like Bible Belt, you think of Sunday sermons and sweet tea and small town like hospitality, but There's the stretch of highway that runs through America's South in Tennessee, Arkansas. I like to call it Arkansas because that's what it looks like how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Ken- Kentucky and Mississippi, but it hides a much darker story than just a stretch of road. There's it's a story of a killer. It's the skin of a killer, Bella. Or,
The
or
story of a killer, Bella.
story of a killer, Bella. Or maybe killers who stalked these back roads throughout the late 1970s and 80s and leaving behind a trail of young women, and most of them being redheads, and all of them being brutally strangled. They called him or them the Bible Belt Strangler, and if the name sounds familiar, you might have heard of the other one, which is the Redheaded Murders.
Okay.
Right. So starting around like 1978, bodies began appearing along the highways and truck stops, and women with bright red or strawberry hair were dumped near interstates across the South. And many of them were found unclothed or partially dressed, and sometimes they were wrapped in blankets, and sometimes they were just left in the ditches. Most of them were Jane Does, so they had no IDs, and no one was looking for them, and no quick way to like match missing person reports across state lines, which made it easy for the killer to stay invisible. And around this time, I mean, people were hitchhiking a lot. It was kind of like the thing to do.
Right.
Just like hitchhike, go to concerts, or hitchhike, go wherever. So probably hitchhike and go to LA and try to become a movie star back then.
Right. The American
Um,
dream.
right. But what really hits all of this is that they're all redheads. I mean,
So you're like his
con-
dream girl.
considering literally. So that's kind of what like draws me mostly to this because it's like, okay, you would have totally killed me.
I like to think
It
that you
gives
would
you like
not have
the
hitchhiked, though.
I definitely wouldn't have hitchhiked. Hell no. No, thank you. Why? Why am I gonna get into a stranger danger's car? But they literally were hunting people down and or not people, more hunting women down with red hair, like me. So the killer's hunting grounds were pretty, I would say pretty massive. I mean, bodies were turning up around the I-40, I-75, and I-81, and it's the main veins of Bible Belt right there.
The
And that's what
I-40 is so scary, though.
I believe it. I
Um,
believe it.
there's been so much shit that's happened on the I-40.
No, literally though. I think that's I wouldn't say it's the most like the most things that have happened right there, but I feel like whenever you hear about things, it's like, oh, it's I-40, I-40,
Mhm.
I-40.
It's because it goes all the way across the country.
Yeah. Um, but that's kind of what led investigators to think that the murderer was a truck driver, considering it's been throughout all of these interstates
Right.
and going, I mean, pretty much everywhere, specifically in this little area. So it's obviously somebody, not little area, but specifically to this area. So truck driver would make the most sense.
Right.
Um, so someone who could pick up women easily and travel from state to state easily and drop a body hundreds of miles away from like before anyone would even realize that she was missing because it's like pick her up, kill her, drop her off all
Right.
throughout his route. Um, and the method was more than often strangulation because it was clean and it was silent, efficient, and there was no gun, no mess, nothing that could easily be traced back. And because the victims were scattered across multiple jurisdictions, it took years for anybody to even connect it together.
Of course.
Um, right. So the most surprising twist in the whole case is the fact that the name the Bible Belt Strangler didn't even come from the police, and it came from a high school class.
Okay, so I just saw I'm not laughing at this. I'm laughing at the fact that I just saw that there's a town somewhere that lets the elementary school kids name the ferries, like the boats, you know? And that's what this reminds me of. This is so bad, but
No, it's like that's crazy though. It's not funny, but
I'm
it's
just
like
laughing at the thought of like a high school class being like, "All right, what
the
are we gonna
Bible
name
Belt
this serial
Strangler,
killer?"
right?
Everybody vote.
Bible Belt Strangler, perfect. Like the redhead murderer wasn't
No, that one got less votes.
like right, that one said, "Fuck you, you guys got murdered for a reason."
There wasn't enough redheads to vote on it.
Exactly. That's why we have so much sex and have so many kids.
Yeah,
But it was sociology class at Elizabethton High School in Tennessee, and they started researching these murders with the help of the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and they were so they analyzed where the bodies were found, who the victims were, like the ones that had IDs and so on and so forth. But they built a profile around the killer, and they were the ones that actually noticed and put together that all of their murders like sat right in the heart of Bible Belt, and that they were the ones who coined the nickname. That sounded like a demon came out of you.
it was like a weird yawn burp.
It was a yerp.
I'm gonna exclusively call it that from now on.
A yerp.
What's funny is I couldn't hear it very well in my headphones.
I heard it clearly. It sounded like a demon came out of you.
Okay, I'm
Oh my
sorry. I'm
god, that
sorry.
was
I'm sorry.
that was awesome. But whew. So they were the ones that noticed that all of the murderers sat like in the heart of Bible Belt. So they were the ones that like coined the nickname the Bible Belt Strangler. And I mean, crazy enough, their work actually helped and it led to new clues, which is pretty crazy. High school students, but like,
Yeah,
go them, go them. Um, and for decades, these women were faceless names in cold case files. But in 2019, there was finally a break, and one of the victims, named Tina Farmer, who was identified through DNA, her murder was linked to a truck driver who was already in prison for trying to kill another red haired woman.
of
Crazy.
course.
Right. But that was their first real connection, and it proved what investigators had long suspected was that at least one of the murderers was the work of a serial killer. So it kind of sounds like there was more, not necessarily that they were working together, but that there was definitely more than one trucker who was out here killing redheads.
Okay.
So, um, even so, not every case matches perfectly, and some of the victims fit the same type didn't fit the same type time frame. Word glitch. But or they didn't even fit like the same method. So it's kind of what led to theories that there might have been like multiple killers working on the same route, but not necessarily working together, just killing redheads. But what we know for sure was that the victims were mostly young women with red hair or reddish hair, and most of them were found along southern interstates. And the cause of death was almost always strangulation, and that the main suspect or suspects were truck drivers. But what we don't know is exactly how many there were.
Of
So
course.
we don't know if it's just the one or two, three, four, five, but whether the real Bible Belt Strangler even faced justice or not. But I guess, I mean, we caught the Golden State Killer how many years later? Maybe we'll catch this one later too.
True.
Right. But I think the scariest part of all of it is just how easy that they were to just vanish. I mean, they weren't rich or famous or anything. They were just women that were trying to get by hitching rides and traveling the wrong road at the wrong time. And because of that, I mean, their stories just fade into the background for decades. And it took high school kids that were given a chance to give these women voices again. And even though the Bible Belt Strangler might still be a mystery, but at least now the world finally will remember some of them and not just for their hair color.
True. But probably mostly for their hair color and their location,
Right.
which is crazy to me.
Right. It's super crazy. It's just like, okay.
I want to throw this in here while I can on
Mhm.
our little break between stories, but anyone who's listening is going to have to forgive the quality and the editing for the next few weeks because I already way overpacked and did not have enough space to be bringing my mic. So we are on like the C list setup here, but we're making it work.
Right.
So
We're
bear with
making
us
it work.
and give me a couple weeks and everything will be back to the normal quality that it is. That's why my background is different too.
Right.
And luckily I'm not in the Bible Belt.
Luckily. Well, you wouldn't go missing because you don't have red hair.
True.
But
They
I
don't
will
want
not come
me.
and visit you.
Bitch,
If I
it's
do come and
cold
visit
here.
you, I'm gonna wear a wig.
It's cold here. You don't want to come here.
No thanks.
All right. Well, speaking of not having red hair, my story is about someone who does not have red hair.
Well, that's good.
Um, to stay a little bit on theme, this story is the murder of the blonde Dolly.
Mhm.
So we're gonna go back to post-war Netherlands, like late 1950s,
Okay.
or Netherlands, I think
On
is how people
Netherlands.
say it. Um, the war was over, but
Also where they would hitchhike.
oh, I'm sure. So the war was over, but the country was still rebuilding. The Hague, with its winding canals and polished facades, hid more secrets than it showed. And at the center of one of its darkest mysteries was a woman everyone called Blonde Dolly. Before she was Dolly, she was Sabia.
Mhm.
I didn't look up the pronunciation. I fucking should have. But we're gonna do our best. I want to say it was Sabia Alida Johanna Niemans,
Okay.
Born September 27th,
Mm,
1927, which is crazy to me.
that is
Um,
pretty crazy.
I feel connected to her in more than one way. Um, she was born in Amsterdam and she did not come from money. Her father was a shoemaker.
Mm,
Her mother was a homemaker. Apparently, everyone was a maker of some sort.
right.
And when her mother fell ill, her and her brother were sent to a children's home in Zandvoort.
Oh, wow.
Life was not easy before the war, and it definitely was not after, but by her early 20s, she learned how to survive however she could. She was smart, independent, and ambitious, a woman determined to not stay invisible in a city full of gray walls and expectations. In Amsterdam, she began working in
Mm,
prostitution at first in like small brothels, then the red light district, and then
okay.
eventually she moved to The Hague, where she became known among the city's elite. She wasn't just a street worker, she had a presence. She was dressed well, spoke elegantly, and moved between um, kind of like two existences.
Right.
So, like, the rich upper class and then the prostitutes.
Right. Do you
Um,
well, hold every time, I don't know, like prostitutes from back then or sex workers from back then. Do you know do you know why they invented the fake eyelashes?
I do, but I'll let you say it.
It Because it was around this time, I believe, but they invented fake eyelashes for prostitutes or brothel workers, so that way they wouldn't get cum in their eyes.
You told me that literally like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't even
Right.
think about it when I came up with this story.
But yeah, that's fun fact.
So she moved between two worlds, the seedy red light district and the upper class salons of powerful
Mhm.
men who would never dare to be seen with her in daylight. Um, she
Okay, pop
at
off.
At first, she was known as Zwarty Dolly or Black Dolly for her hair and mysterious aura, but when she bleached her hair blonde, everything changed, and the name Blonde Dolly spread fast, which came with attention, money, and danger.
Of course,
She didn't,
especially back then.
right, and she didn't just rent a room, she actually bought a house. Um,
Mm,
it it's something Haven 498. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that word.
right.
Um, it was not only her home where like
Mhm.
her personal home, but she also worked out of it too. So uh
Oh, wow.
we love a good work from home girly.
Right? Pop off queen.
Um she checked in remote today or every day,
Right, right.
but she filled it with art, furniture, and she kept her parlor looking more like a salon than a brothel. So her neighbors
Okay,
saw her as refined, polite, and even generous. But like,
okay.
also, did the neighbors not see a bunch of men coming and going all the time?
Right. I'm sure she had a system and like a,
Yeah,
"Hey, come around these times," or
yeah, something.
whatever. Or like, "You come out through the back door, you come in," whatever.
So in 1950, she married Bodo van de Berg, a violinist from
Okay,
the Residenti Orchestra. And for a while, it looked like she might leave her old life behind, but the marriage didn't last. They divorced in 1957. After that, Dolly seemed to
okay.
double down on her independence. She mingled with businessmen, politicians, foreign diplomats, and rumor had it that she kept a little blue book, a record of all of her clients, complete with names, professions, and payments. Some say that
Oh,
book,
damn.
so some people say that book was like her insurance policy, um,
Yeah.
but a lot of people believe that that's what got her killed.
Yeah.
On October 30th, 1959, the streets were quiet, no screams, no break-ins, no witnesses, but by the morning of November 2nd, police arrived at Dolly's home after she failed to answer knocks at her door. Inside, they
Mm,
found her body lying in her bed, and she had been strangled sometime between October 30th and 31st. Um, the what stunned the investigators was what wasn't missing. There was no
right.
sign of robbery, no struggle. Cash, jewelry, and other things worth thousands were still there. Even stash of gold coins hidden under the floorboards remained untouched. So if it
That's
wasn't
crazy.
about money, what was it about? The little
I'm
blue book.
sure it was, oh, totally. Or she pissed one big guy off and he was like, "Oh, you know what?
A politician.
You're you're not going in my little blue book."
Right. So it became front page news. She was famous, scandalous, and connected to powerful people. Police interviewed
Mhm.
dozens of men, but one name kept resurfacing: her bodyguard, known only publicly as Gerard V. Gerard had been hired
Okay.
after another woman in the district was attacked the year before, and he was devoted to Dolly, but maybe too devoted, and there's a rumor that he was in love with her.
Yeah.
When questioned, Gerard made one major mistake: that he mentioned Dolly had been strangled before the police released that information to the public, but without
Mm.
hard evidence, he was never charged.
Yeah.
Uh, Rumors really started to swirl, and according to some, Dolly's famous little blue book contained the names of high ranking officials, judges, politicians, police, all
Mm.
clients who had visited her discreetly. And after her death, that book disappeared. Uh, some claimed some claimed it was stolen from her home the night she was killed. Others believe police or government officials quietly removed it to protect their reputations of politicians. It was the cops who said that.
Who said
Decades
that?
decades later, a Dutch policeman named Hans, we're just going to go with the first name,
Yep.
cla- claimed that
Hans
his
von
father,
Pearl.
it's something.
Right.
Um, but the policeman claimed that his father, who had been the police commissioner, once kept a sealed envelope naming Blonde Dolly's killer, and before he died, he allegedly told his son to destroy it, and the name inside went up in flames. Was it a
Mm.
jealous lover, a client trying to hide, a cover up that reached all the way to the top? Politicians. We'll never know for sure, though.
Right. We'll never know.
Um, Her body was laid to rest in Westdoen Cemetery in The Hague. Her headstone
Mhm.
bears her real name, but to the public, she
Okay.
will always be Blonde Dolly. The
Yeah.
police kept the case file open until 1977, when the statute of limitations expired and the case was officially closed. No one was ever convicted.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
Her story inspired books, plays, and a 1987 Dutch film titled The Blonde Dolly. But even
Mhm.
today, more than 60 years later, her murder remains one of the Netherlands' most infamous unsolved cases. A story of glamour, secrecy, power, where one woman's ambition collided with the darkness of those who sought to silence her.
Mhm.
Some say justice never came because too many people stood to lose too much. Politicians.
Achoo.
It's funny every time. I don't know.
Right. I don't know why.
Others believed that her killer is buried with her secrets, but maybe, just maybe, the truth about Blonde Dolly still hides somewhere between those golden curls and the names in the blue book that no one ever found.
That's crazy that they never found her book.
It still has to exist, and I guarantee someone's shithead grandkid probably has it in a stupid chest up in their attic that they've never looked at. Because, like, you don't
Right.
take it and, like, burn it, right?
I wouldn't, but I mean, everybody's obviously different and holds things to a different standard. Um, but that's just crazy.
Right?
I it kind of reminds me of like the whole Marilyn Monroe thing, except obviously different, like different things. I mean, Marilyn Monroe obviously went to go and get famous in Hollywood and did become famous in Hollywood, but she died of
A politician.
apologies, um overdose. I find that hard to believe that it was really an overdose, but that's just me. Oh my gosh. So it's and she does kind of look like her a little bit too. Like, is there any pictures of her with blonde hair?
All the pictures are in black and white, so
True. Her hair will look more grayish if it's blonde. Oh yeah, no, that's her black hair for sure. Like it'll look more
so when you Google the blonde
on the
Dolly,
gray side,
everything else that comes up is just Dolly Parton.
of course.
So there is not a lot of pictures of her.
So no. Um That's crazy.
Right.
I like the one things that stand out is obviously the Dutch politician Hans that who his father was the police commissioner.
Mhm.
The dad stands out
Yeah.
because how do you know who he was? How do you know who the killer was and didn't say anything? I bet you he has the little blue book.
Yeah,
And the note
probably.
that really right, and the note that really got destroyed was his name. Or like like somebody else that he knows his name. Like, but that's crazy. And then the bodyguard, that's kind of hard to because he knew that it was strangulation before that even came out. Um,
I'm trying to find more pictures.
wild.
So when they say she was blonde, she was
Mhm.
blonde,
Right.
like my natural hair color blonde.
Right.
Her home was cute.
Cute. Did I have a red light?
No, probably not. There's a picture of her body on the internet. I'm not going to show that here.
No. If people want to find it, they can find it.
I used Reddit to find it though, so.
I was just gonna say that Reddit probably has it.
Ugh. All right, well, since we made that quick and easy and we're only at a half hour, I say we
Mhm.
stop here and keep it short and sweet and
Mhm. Short and sweet while you're away.
yeah, and while it's freezing cold, my feet will not get warm. Alrighty, well, we will see you next week for what are we doing next week? What was the other one?
The zombie was right.
Oh, the dancing plague. I'm really
Oh,
excited for that one.
I know you're excited about that one.
It's so interesting. The dancing
Yeah.
plague and the Pirates of the Caribbean. What the fuck is it called? The Black Pearl.
Yes. And then the week after is zombie apocalypse, right?
Yes, and that one will be fun.
Love it. I'm excited about that one.
All right, well, peace out, bitches.
Peace out, bitches.